Hello everybody, Ghostblade 1062 here with another rolling stock review. Today we will be looking at a 2-pack of Roco Sdgnss type intermodal cars in the Wascosa orange paint scheme that come with a load of 2 LKW Walters semi-trailers. And now let's move on to the unboxing. Alright, taking a look at the packaging, we have the 2 cars each in individual jewel cases inside of a larger clear plastic case. On the back we have a product barcode, age restriction warning, and disposal warnings, as well as a QR code. And then on the right-hand side, we have the product ID, which is 6600064. These are Era 6 cars, which means 2007 to present, of the car type Sdgnss in the Wascosa scheme. And now, opening up the package, we can take out the jewel cases. Here we have the two jewel cases that the cars come in. Opening up number 1. We do have some softer plastic wrapped around the cars to help take them out. Right, here's car. That is car number 1 out. And the landing gear for the trailer has come off, so I will have to reattach that. That is number 1. And also, underneath, we have 2 bags of extra separately fitted parts, including brake lines, coupling hooks, grab irons, as well as extra detailing for the trailers, including spare tires, landing gear, all in all a fair bit of extra detail parts. More than usual, that's for sure. But moving on to the second car. Let's get that out of the box. And we have a baggie of those spare parts in there as well. Right, and here's the second car. And with that, we can now move on to the detail overview section of the video. Alright, time to take a closer look at these 2 cars and trailers. To begin with, we'll start with the trailers, and then we'll follow up with the actual cars. So, what I did off camera was I did go through the separate parts for the trailers and added in the additional components. There was a missing rear tail light for the one trailer. So one of the trailers will have its tail lights and the other one does not. So we'll start with this trailer here. On the roof, we have the reporting marks and trailer number, this being LKWA 207892 for this trailer. And starting at the front here, we have the LKW Walter logo, as well as we have our connection points for hoses and electrical that would come from an actual truck here, as well as we have the molded in plating detail on the front. Moving on to the side, we can see, if we hold it at the right angle, with how the side is molded, it is actually a roll-up side, so it is a soft side trailer. And here we have the LKW Walter logo on the side, as well as the trailer identification and capacity information. We have the 100 years LK Walter design here as well. And along the bottom, we have the detailing for the strapping that would hold the soft side paneling down. Looking on the underside here, we can see the coupling pin here, as well as we have our landing gear. I currently have the landing gear in the upright position attached to the trailers. And then behind that we have our side skirting. Then we have our 3 axles, which can be put in an upright storage position, where they are mostly immobile. Oop, and I just pulled this one off by accident. But we can see that by doing so, we can actually see the suspension detailing here. Also, attached underneath, we have the rack for the spare tires with 2 spare tires in it. And we see that same detailing on the other side as well. And then on the back of the trailer, we have our door here, which can, with hinge detailing on the side, as well as our molded in latch detailing here just underneath. And on our rear bumper, we do have these 2 empty slots where the tail lights would go. And this does move up and is shiftable as well. Looking more at the underside, we also have we can see the ribbing detailing for the main body, as well as we can see our air system setup for the air brakes, including 2 reservoir tanks. And next, we'll move on to the other trailer. So with this one, I did have both of the tail lights available. So I did attach them here on the rear bumper. And aside from that, the only real difference here is that this trailer has a different number to it. This being LKWA 2078882. But aside from that, we have all the same detailing here. And now, onto the actual cars themselves. The only real difference between the two cars themselves being the road number. Starting on the end here, we have our coupling hook in between our two buffers with steps on either side here, just beside the buffers, and grab irons which are in the folded down. We have a grab iron on this side here in the folded down position. We also have our brake wheels on either side of the truck here. And we have some suspension detailing on the trucks themselves. Then we have printed on the frame here the capacity information, followed by a hook which is in place for re-railing the car. Moving along the side, we notice these multiple yellow clips which can be folded upwards. And these are in place for shipping container, for sea cans. So if you want to use these cars for sea cans rather than trailers, you just have to flip these pins upward, and you can set them up for 20-foot or 40-foot containers. Then in between these two pins here, we have our road number for this car. This being 3385452526, 461-0. And these are Wascosa cars of the type SD. These are cars of the type Sdgnss. Trying to get that on camera here. And we also have this airline detailing here along the side in a nice silver, which is kind of covering part of the lettering. Then around the center here we have more capacity information and warning decaling. Towards the end of the car we have the Wascosa logo and another coupling hook, as well as our brake cylinder. Moving on to this end, we have grab irons underneath the coupler, underneath the buffers, as well as we have our steps again here, just offset from the buffers themselves, with our brake line and our coupling hook. And then on the other side here, we have much of the same detailing again. The underside is completely plain with no additional detailing. And then looking at the car from the top, we have these gray strips, which would on the prototype be corrugated diamond or diamond plate metal for walking. We have our pocket here for where for trailer tires to sit. And then we also have our coupling point here. This is where the coupling pin for the trailers would sit. And now onto the other car. And for overall detailing, these two cars are pretty much the same. The only real difference being the road number, the second one being 33854526-469-3. But all in all, very nicely we do have some very nice side detailing on these cars. They've got good weight to them, being a metal body. And that covers the detail overview section of the video. And next, we will move on to the rip track segment. Alright, time for the rip track segment. To start with, we're going to verify the wheel gauge of the two cars with the NMRA standards gauge. Starting with the car ending in 469-3, we'll start on the rear truck. Axle 1 is good, and axle 2 is good, but we have very deep flanges on these. Now front truck, axle 1 is good, and axle 2 is good. Now for the other car, ending in 461-0. Rear truck, axle 1 is good. Axle 2 is good. Front truck, axle 1 is good. And axle 2 is good. So our wheel gauge is all in place. And now to swap out the couplers for knuckle couplers. Okay, that's coupler number 1. Come on. This coupler is sticking a bit. Oh, this one is really giving me trouble. Alright, I might just... making progress. There we go. This one was really giving me some trouble here. But I managed to get it, so now I can swap in my knuckle coupler. There we go. That's car number 1 done. Now back to car 469-3. Coupler number 1 is out. New coupler in. And now for the other one. Right, and that's the coupler swapped over. So now to verify the coupler height, for coupler number okay, not setting. There we go. Coupler number 1 is fairly aligned, if not just a touch low. Okay, same with the other end on car 469-3. And now for back to car 461-0. Okay, the front coupler is spot on. As is the rear coupler. So now both cars are ready to go over to the track for a test run. Alright everybody, this concludes my review of the Roco Sdgnss piggyback intermodal car set with the LKW Walter 40-foot trailers. All in all, the cars were nicely detailed. They have nice functionality to them in the fact that you can move the loading pins in such a way that you could load on shipping sea cans for the 40-foot and 20-foot variant. The bodies themselves were made out of metal, which is nice, gives them a good durability as well as a good weight for smooth operation. The flanges are a little bit deep in my opinion, so with track of a shorter height than what I'm using, so anything ranging in code 83 or lower or shorter, you will have the issue of the cars hitting the ties. But aside from that, the cars are very well done. In regards to the trailers, they are also quite nice. I am disappointed that there was the missing part with the one trailer, therefore not allowing me to fully assemble it. But aside from that, the trailers were also very well done. And all in all, a very nice addition to the collection and a nice step for me to build an intermodal train. That being said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe for more model railroad content. Have a great day, everybody!